Hey everybody, welcome to Fossil Games, and welcome to City Skylines. Yeah, look at this nice little view we've got on this starting map here. They already put out this nice little bridge for us right next to our starting location. So before we get started, I just want to say, this is really like one of my favorite games. I have more hours in City Skylines, I think, than pretty much any other game besides Civilization. And but funnily enough, I haven't actually gotten that far in the game. It's always been sort of a challenging game for me, just sort of mentally to relax about it and get into it. And I've always spent so much time sort of worrying about how to play it and how to play it right and how to have the most fun with it. And honestly, it's like such a creative game, right? There are no rules, there are no boundaries for what you can do here really, besides staying within the framework of building a city. And so, I've sort of struggled with that level of creativity. So I'm kind of hoping that by doing this together with you guys, this is going to be kind of a journey of exploration for all of us. And of course, if you guys have any tips, any suggestions, anything that you want to see, anything you think I could be doing better, if you see me, just driving myself nuts over some stupid detail, tell me, hey, relax, man. It's all good. Just keep plowing along. You can ignore that for now. Yeah, help me keep my head up here, and hopefully we could build a nice big city here together. So I named this Fossilfelde because the city I live, of course, this is Fossil Games. And the city where I live ends with Felde, and I thought that sounded kind of cool with the little F alliteration right there. So I went ahead with that name for now, and we're playing completely on vanilla. Um, besides most of the expansion packs, I think the only one I don't have right now is Sunset Harbor. Um, but the only so it, the gameplay itself is completely vanilla. I'm using two visual mods, which are two of the most popular mods on the Steam Workshop. I will put the link to them in the description below. I recommend them. I haven't tried all the visual mods out there, of course, but I really like these two. I feel like they're definitely an improvement on the base game itself, and yeah. So I'll put those links. I'll put the links to those in the description if you want to use them or check them out. But that's the only mods we're going to be using to build this city. So let's get building here, and I'll show you. I've kind of done a little bit of testing already, and so I know kind of basically what how I want to start. Um, on this map. And I don't really like, I've seen a lot of the other guys to just sort of slap down roads. It's a little bit, willy-nilly the way they do it to start out the game. I don't really like that approach so much. I sort of want to. My goal here is to have a start that actually feels like a little city already, and then it's not just some temporary thing that we're slapping down just so that we can start working, right? I want to have something that from the get-go is functions well, first of all, that we're not going to have to touch for a while and we'll be able to expand upon easily. And also that feels like it's already its own little ecosystem in which everything works properly. So that's sort of the goal. That's what we're aiming for here. Um, yeah, that's okay. That can go out this far. So let me explain a little bit what I'm actually trying to do here. Um, the thought, right? The thought is that we want to, because of the way your starting tile is always placed, right? You almost always want to start with your industrial zones off to the right, right? Because that's where you're going to have easy access from the highway for all the trucks that want to go in there. And then rather than just having like a roundabout here where all the traffic from the city all gets stopped, I want to try to divide things up a little bit so the traffic goes its own specific ways. So my thought here, what I actually really want to do is have a dedicated way in and out for industrial traffic. Okay, so this is going to be our off-ramp into the industrial zone. All right, stick with me here. This, let's see if that's in the same line. Doesn't quite look like it, right? So let's go ahead and extend this out so we can see, just so we can get a, just, come on. All right. Because we want to try to line these up if we can. Basically, that's sort of the goal that we have. Okay, so actually what I want to do here is basically take it from the other direction. We're going to go from here. Yeah, that's going to work for me. How did I do this before, though? Because this is now a very awkward curve to be heading into. I swear I did this already in a little trial run by myself. Here, let's see if I can get this a little bit better. Okay, this is now looking more like what I want. Okay, right. And then those two can link up. Right? That looks okay. Well, maybe we can get that a little bit better by actually using this other curve tool. Leave me alone about the milestones. There, even better. It's a little bit of a, that sort of eliminated the little bump there that we had in the curve. Okay, so now we got both of these roads lined up, which is just sort of, you know, looks better from overhead, right? It's just sort of a cool bit of symmetry. We can scale that back a little bit. And now the idea, right, is that this, let's see if we can go there, all the way out to here. This is now going to be my industrial zone. We're going to have this nice little one-way loop around here. I'm going to leave a couple of extra spaces there so that if we want to... you know what? That's actually not a great idea because then I'm going off the edge of the map, isn't it? I was going to say I would leave a couple of extra spaces just in case we wanted to upgrade those roads, but it's looking like that's not going to be the smartest of ideas because we're going to want to stay within this first tile here. And here we're already losing one of the tiles off the edge of the map. So hang on, I don't actually want to end it right there. But this is the basic idea, right? Is we're going to have this nice one-way loop. That road is going to curve in there just like that. That's going to be our way in, right? And that's going to keep going down, but not just yet. First, so if we've got, let's think about this logically, because if we've got a way in through here, right? We're going to have shortly a way out up here. And that's for all the industrial traffic, right? That's going to be the route that they're going to take in and out. But if we're going to have our residential areas over here, we're going to need a way for them to get to work in the industrial zone, and we're going to need a way for them to get back home from the industrial zone. Plus, we're going to have the industrial zone delivering goods to our commercial areas over here. So this is also going to be done in a somewhat unique way that just keeps things really smooth and flowing. We're going to have, everything here is going to be a one-way system, basically. And what that's going to do is keep things flowing for the foreseeable future. We hopefully will not have to touch anything that we build here in the beginning for quite some time. hopefully we won't have any major traffic issues or whatever, and any changes that we want to make in the future are going to be for aesthetic reasons rather than because it's not functioning. That is at least the idea here, the concept. Okay, so that's going to be how people get from their homes to the industrial zone. This is going to be how people get from their homes back onto the highway, right? Let's change that around so you get what I mean. Then this is going to be the way from the highway into the main part of town, into where the homes are, into uh, the main commercial zone that we're going to have to start out with. And we want that main commercial zone to basically be the first thing that you come to when you drive off that highway, because if they need to take deliveries from abroad, from the region, right, then we want those deliveries to be coming straight straight into. We don't want those heavy trucks from outside to have to go through um, any residential areas or anything like that. So I'm going to try to connect these together. Looks like that pillar is right in our way. Okay, so I'm going to have to move this over a square. Let's see how we can do this best. I think that'll do it. Let's give this a try now. Yep, that puts us right through there, right where we want to be. Okay, so now, if you'll notice, we've got this lovely one-way loop that goes off of the highway and back onto the highway. And this, inside this one-way loop, is going to be our main commercial area for now. Then we're going to box it off from here so that it's actually going to be a full, it's almost like a roundabout in and of itself, right? Now we need to connect that to the industrial zone. Otherwise, how are deliveries from the industrial zone supposed to get to the main market district? So I think what we're going to do here is just bring this out by a few more tiles like this. See? And then, yeah, what I'm going to want to be doing here is connecting on up to this, and I think I'm just going to want to put like a gentle curve into that, basically. So I don't want them meeting at like some harsh kind of right angle. I want this coming in a little bit of a curve. Just like that is fine with me. I like that. I think that looks good. Okay, so now you've got this nice one-way system. And let's connect that up. Okay, so you can start to see how this is coming together now with our industrial zone linked up really well to where the main shops are going to be to start out with. If we need to, we can probably expand upon that sort of in this direction. As well as in here, I'm going to put down a couple of sort of connector streets in here that are actually going to be two-way streets. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to curve that right in there like that. All right, so that can be a place for more shops. Maybe even if I'm sneaky here at the beginning, we can put in a couple of houses right there. Kind of depends on what our needs are in the moment, right? And then basically all we need to do is extend out. Okay, I want to extend this. Right? Something like that. Want to bring this out And basically what I want to end up here, what I want to end up with here, the goal is to have all around the whole town, the outside border of it is all a one-way street heading in the same direction. Right? That means traffic on almost every street in the city to start out with is going to have 2 lanes to drive on, which is going to create lots of room. That's basically going to save us a lot of headaches moving forward. And then we're just going to curve this right into that road like that. Now this area we can and now we can just fill this out real easy. We'll just fill this out with some homes. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna have a hard break there because this can just branch off and head into the area like that. Yeah. So you can kind of see what I'm going after here. You know what? Why don't we, just for fun, right? Just sort of break things up. Why don't we have a little, why don't we have a little tiny, more, the idea is to have more of an exclusive neighborhood in here, right? That's a little bit more creative in its design. And maybe even ends just like that, right? And maybe to complement that, we even have another one of those right here. Well, you know, that's kind of getting close to the highway. We're gonna leave this opposite, this mirror image of a question mark here for now. And yeah, hopefully that just adds like a tiny little bit of variety, especially, you know, especially early on here when we're starting out small. Okay, so I think this is going to be pretty efficient to start out with. If we need to, we can add in a couple of more streets here to add in some more houses and make more use out of these squares. We can branch off this direction. We can branch off this direction. We've got room to play around, but the sort of the core of what we're going for here is going to be a really efficient way to keep traffic moving, and that sort of allows us to expand on that and rely on this base. Now the idea eventually is to turn this. This is kind of an interesting area to have, especially on a vanilla map, yeah. But the idea is to be able to eventually just turn this into sort of a big city park, have some areas here that are open in the fields, and then have some paths sort of going up um, in between these trees and up right up next to this rock. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, that I do have random disasters turned on because I sort of like the idea of integrating. Well, I want to be able to use all the mechanics of the game, first of all, and I like the idea of integrating any random disasters that do happen into the story of the city. Um, so, you know, if a meteorite falls somewhere, we can turn that into like a little park for people to visit where the crater is. You know, that's a good example. Um, yeah, there's kind of different ways like that to make good use out of things. So that should be fun and also put our skills to the test in terms of creating the infrastructure that people need to survive the disasters. All right, so let's have a look here. We want to put down at least one wind turbine just to start out with to make sure that we have one functional and that will, you know, sort of get our city started. And then if we have extra money, we can put down a second one, maybe. But these are definitely the areas we're going to want to put them down where they're going to be able to make lots of wind for us. Even in here, they only get 7, even though the color is dark. They don't get that maximum output of 8, right? There's one spot right there. So I think we're probably going to want to just go down here, even though that's further away from where we're starting and that is going to make it cost us a little bit more money. I think that's going to be a smarter way to go about this, just to sort of make sure that we're good. But first, let's see where we can put our water, because we're going to want our water. We're going to want our water infrastructure to connect right to a wind turbine, the electricity from it, without having to run electrical wires in between the two. So I think this corner is going to be the best. Therefore, let's go ahead and put this as close as we can to where the city is going to be, right? So we don't have to run the electrical wires too far to get things started. And also as close to the shore as possible so that we can uh, use our water infrastructure right here. Okay, so this is the pumping station, which is how we get our clean water, right? So we're going to want that, I guess, upstream from the water drain pipe. But honestly, we don't need to be that far away from one another. And we can see from the direction that the water is flowing, based on these little arrows here, that all the water that is dumped out, all the wastewater, is basically going to flow on down the stream in this direction. So if we put this even just this far away, we should be pretty good, and we shouldn't have any sewage water getting into our drinking water. That's the plan anyway. And as you can see, they all naturally share electricity between one another, and we're saving money on electrical wires. Now we can connect those up to make sure that they're going to function. And let's see. I know some people are super picky about the pipes, and I happen to be one of them. No, I'm picky with myself about the pipes, not with other people. Uh, I like to try to stick to running the pipes um, right down the middle of the streets, like they would be in real life. I think that's how it works, right? In real life, they actually have the water pipes, and even in some cities, the electrical wiring is all sort of underground, and they keep it beneath. They keep it beneath the street, right? So that is the basic idea, anyway. I think it's just sort of fun to do it that way. Hopefully, it's not going to be taking up. It's not going to be costing us too much time. If it's an annoyance to you guys, let me know, and we can think about another way to go about this. Okay, I know this is kind of cheating because I'm going under a bridge, but hey, it is what it is, right? The game isn't a perfect representation of real life. But it's pretty darn good. Okay, one thing I forgot that we're definitely going to want to do is create a couple of, we're going to want to include a couple of crossover streets here, just so that trucks and people going to work and everything, they don't have to go through this entire loop every time they want to get somewhere, right? Let's see if there's a strategic way to go about this. If they're coming this far, odds are most vehicles are gonna want to go that way, or right, or they're gonna want to continue this way to a business that's on this street. So I don't think this is actually that great of a place to put it. You know what? Let's just do a few of these, and yeah, that might look initially like we're creating sort of small boxes, but I think that should work for what we're trying to do, which basically just giving more all the vehicles more options for getting around, especially like emergency vehicles and things, so that they have access to all these buildings. Okay, let's get back to the water infrastructure real quick. So the only thing about doing the pipes this way is it's not necessarily the most efficient money-wise, because you can see here we're sort of overlapping areas that are already covered. But hey, that's sort of half the fun, half the challenge in it. And we can come back later and sort of adjust that as necessary. Oops. Perfect. All right. And I don't think we're going to be building anything in that little area anyway because, yeah, emergency vehicles won't have access to any buildings that are in this area because of the way the one-way street system is set up. So we're not going to worry about that for now. We're going to go ahead and just run those pipes right on over there. Next thing to worry about is to make sure that the electricity from this is coming all the way over here. And I think the way I'm going to do that and keep this yeah, there we go. Okay, so then rather than taking out any of these squares, we're going to run one of these right through there and connect up that way. And that way houses and things can come in there. And let's see, what should we do? Okay, you know what? Hang on. Let's get rid of some of those. And then come all the way out here, over here, over the highway, and connect up to where the industrial buildings are going to be. My one concern with this is getting it over to where commercial zones are going to be. So what I think I'm going to do, just for safety's sake, right? Let's keep everything but the grid. And we're going to connect it right there like that. Now we can go back to all and connect it up like that. And then we can make sure that the first commercial buildings that we zone are going to be right in this area. And look at that, we still have 12,000 credits, right, in cash that we can use to start out with. And I'm actually not even that big of a fan of having to use all my money right away in the very first bit. So why don't we just get a little bit of zoning done now, and then we will worry. Yeah. Well, hopefully we won't worry too much. But what I would like to do is just sort of get some zoning done first, get the game running. We can do that right now even. And we should have everything all set up the way we want it, and we could start to see a few people moving in. And yeah, let's get a few buildings in here, and then I think we'll go ahead and call it quits for today. But I think we made a good start here. Let me make sure the first buildings come in next to that electrical wire there. Let's even speed it up a little bit. Make sure that we get our first people in here. Let me guys know, does this chirpy thing bug you guys? Because I could totally get rid of that too. There are mods for that. Unfortunately, it just doesn't really add anything of particular value to the game. So I'm not even sure if it's really worth leaving in. Let's go ahead and zone that next. I would like to go ahead and work my way with the houses over to where the commercial districts are. Oop, we're gonna need some more. Here, let's slow this down. Make sure we're staying on top of our zoning here. I would like to go ahead and connect the housing and the commercial district sooner rather than later, and then we can just get rid of these sort of excess electrical lines, right? In fact, we can probably even get rid of some of these here. Okay. So it looks like people are starting to move in. Okay, this is no good, actually. I think we're gonna have to unzone that real quick. I made a mistake. Because basically we don't want anything spawning right on this street. That's gonna create problems for us. So, okay, looks like we're all connected, and therefore we can delete these, but we still need those running between the two zones. So yeah, on this one-way street there, no emergency vehicles or anything like that are going to have access to the buildings on them. So yeah, we're not going to want to zone anything directly off of those. Right now, it looks like all our demand pretty much is just for housing and industry. So yeah, we can sort of keep the zoning going with those. Oh, beautiful sunset over a brand new city, over Fossilfelde, as we are about to hit our first 150 people in town. I think we made a nice little start here. All right, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it quits right here for today, as the sun goes down on our brand new little town here. But yeah, I think we made a good little start. I think I like the feel of this so far, and I hope you guys do as well. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for what we should be doing next, or if you want a street named after you, or or anything like that, just yeah, let me know, and we can sort of have fun building this thing up together. Let's see. I think I might need a little bit more industrial already. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, there's going to be more episodes coming out soon. So go ahead and click subscribe, hit the like button, just because that helps me out. And yeah, we can keep having some fun together. If you like other games like Civilization, I also started a Let's Play of that on my channel. So go ahead and go check that out. And yeah, definitely. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you had a good time, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.